Markey just stopped by a campaign stop for Arizona governor candidate Kari Lake, the Republican who is vying for her position as governor of Arizona. My goal was ultimately to ask her a couple of questions about the Arizona Revenue Department and, of course, the rise of secret courts in Arizona. And, of course, I was going to use the specific example of the Mesa Municipal Court as well. Robert Brittenall, who is the Arizona Supreme Court Justice, authored a rule called Rule 122. And is it 122 or 112? I can't remember. I think it's 122. And it basically bans video recording or audio recording, not just in the courtrooms, but in the entire courthouse, hallways, lobbies, waiting areas, anything that is accessible to the public is apparently restricted or even prohibited from any private sector human carrying in any kind of recording equipment. It's absolutely terrible. Now, the one thing, I'm not a Republican, I'm not a Democrat, I'm an anarchist. However, I will say this, I would much rather have to fight the Republicans in power than the Democrats. At least with the Republicans, you have a far better chance of really getting responsive answers to questions, where Democrats, they're just, they don't compute the English language when you ask them questions. They are hardcore statists. At least with the Republicans, you can have, they may disagree with abolishing the extortion racket called the Arizona Department of Revenue, and they may debate you on that, but at least they're bringing forth a debate. They're not yelling and screaming and calling you racist and homophobe and transphobe and telling you don't care about poor people. You might have a much better chance of having rational discussions and rational debates with the Republicans than you do any of the Democrats. However, I will say this. There wasn't a whole lot of people at this restaurant. I'll tell you guys the name of the restaurant because these guys obviously care about freedom, maybe in a statist they have a little bit of a statist ideology, but it seems to be a pretty good restaurant. It's La Tiendita. It's a Columbian restaurant. It's at 456 West Main Street. Check it out, guys, if you like Colombian food. You might find some really good dishes there. Anyways, they invited Kari Lake to make a campaign stop here, right behind me in the restaurant over here. And I was a little bit disappointed. Typical politician. I was expecting Kari Lake to offer herself open to some questions from anybody that wanted to ask questions. They had very loud music all throughout the parking lot, and of course you know the issues with loud music in YouTube. Beyond just the loud music and YouTube, it's difficult to ask anybody any question when music is ringing your ears. It's so loud. The entire parking lot was just filled with what I would very much consider excessively loud music. And it made my task of asking Kari Lake two questions. One about the Arizona Department of Revenue, that extortion racket, and another one about the rise of secret courts in the state of Arizona. And I stayed around. She arrived. They turned the music down, gave Kari Lake the mic as soon as she got out of the car, and she started talking, the typical political talking points. Most of it was bullshit. Some of it was obviously common sense, and you'd like to see a little bit of a change. But the second she was done speaking, they were going to have people stand in line and take photos with her. And I figured at that point in time, I'd be able to get up there and ask her a couple of questions. But what happened was the hyper loud music kicked right back on again. And that's unfortunate because you can't ask anybody questions with that kind of noise. And it's disappointing. So typical politician, Kari Lake showed up, did her campaign talking points, made it seem like there was questions, but it was really one of her sidekicks that was giving her questions on a microphone, and it was questions that were already presented. You know, those ones were in the can. It appeared that Kari Lake, before the questioning, said, I don't know what these questions are, but she took, I think, 4 or 5 questions, and it was from the same sidekick holding the same microphone. There was nobody walking up to her and asking her questions. So, you know, typical political stuff, all pre-planned, everything to make her look good, get her talking points out there, get the people excited. Zero opportunity to challenge Kari Lake on 2 issues that I'm passionate about, and you know, getting rid of the extortion racket called the Arizona Department of Revenue, and stopping this insanity of the rise of secret courts in Arizona. And there was no opportunity to do that, guys. And so I ended up walking, and the music's still back there, super loud. She's, you know, doing the hugging baby, or hugging families and kissing babies and shaking hands and taking pictures, all under the protective noise of loud music. And that's unfortunate. So hopefully I'll find out where she's campaigning next time. I'm going to assume that, you know, this is politics. They're going to try to protect her from difficult questions at every turn. And that's sad. That's sad to see that private sector humans cannot approach her and ask her very relevant questions, even if it's just one question or a couple of questions, you know, that's outside of her prescribed campaign box of political issues. And that's sad. They're unapproachable unless you're going to, you know, just go up there and take a picture and walk. And we actually had one of her security people walk through. This is when I decided to leave. As I was waiting in line to get up there, I was going to ask her the question with the loud music as best I could. You probably would never have been able to hear the question. But my goal was to get up there, ask the question as loud as I could, see if I can get a response. But it was just too much. And then the security lady was coming through the line and was basically telling everybody, Kari Lake's on a very tight schedule, guys, so please, when you get to her, take the picture and step out of the way so the next person can come in. And I knew right there it was just a waste of time at that point. And so that's sad. She's appears to be exactly what I thought she would be. Just another typical politician, unaccountable, won't take questions about very real issues. She's talking a good game. However, that said, I would still much rather have the Republican in office and fight against the Republicans than I would the Democrats in office, because the Democrats, they're too far gone. At least when you ask a Republican a logical question, you don't get that, you're a racist, you're a homophobe, and they will, most of them will engage you, and they may see your point. A lot of them do see the point. Taxation is the crime of theft. The issue I get with Republicans as compared to Democrats is when you bring that up with Democrats, they do not see taxation as the crime of theft. They see it as their right to tax you. And it's mind-boggling. No amount of logic will break through that indoctrination of a hard leftist. A Republican, on the other hand, when you start presenting the facts, most Republicans, not all, there are some that are too far gone as well. Most Republicans will say, it's a good point, I can't argue with you on that. I can see how you can see taxation as theft. I might even consider it theft, but I would also consider it a necessary evil, which is completely insane. But at least the Republicans can recognize it for what it is, theft, the crime of theft. But they consider it to be a necessary evil. And they can never envision a society outside of their indoctrinated box that does not have taxation. That's an impossibility to them. And so, anyways, guys, I just wanted to get on here, give you a quick rundown about what just happened. I was really hoping I'd get some good video with at least one good question to Kari Lake and possibly 2 or 3. But They've got the barriers up, man. The loud music's playing before she gets there. When she gets there, they immediately give her the microphone. She hammers out her talking points, and then immediately the music is blaring again, and there is no real chance to sit down and ask her a couple of questions. It's take your picture and walk. And so that's disappointing to see that Kari Lake is just another politician. You know, if that was me running, I wouldn't say, hey, if you want to come up here and take a picture with me, you're more than welcome. I would say, shut the music off, stand in line, come up here. I'll give you up to 3 questions. Because you know, you do got to move people along. You got but I'll give you 3 questions. Have people approach me with questions about what it is we would be doing as governor. And, you know, screw the music, I mean, you could take pictures as well, but to have it just take your picture and walk, that's just politician BS. And it's sad to see that, you know, Kari Lake is just another typical politician, guys. That's all I got. It was, I was really hoping I could bring you guys a couple of questions that I would present to Kari Lake, but they made sure with the loud music. When I say loud, guys, it's loud. You can't have a conversation with that kind of music going on there. And so whether they do it intentionally or just do it to keep everybody excited while she's there, this is politics. I understand the idea of getting it, of having people excited, but at some point, you really should be accountable to the people and open to questions from the people that you're expecting to vote for you. That said, I will say this. This lady right here, Kathy Pierce, she is running for state representative here in Arizona, along with this lady right here. Now, I didn't see this lady there, but I did see this lady. She came and handed this to me personally. But the moment she handed it to me, I was going to turn around and ask her a question about the, you know, state-sanctioned extortion racket from the Arizona Department of Revenue. But the moment she handed this to me, just as I was getting my camera ready, that's when the music started blaring again. So that was gone out the window as well. If you are a Republican, here's all the Republicans on the ticket that you might want to vote for if you're a Republican. If you're an anarchist like I am, you know you're not going to vote for anybody, and cheers to that one. When you vote for nobody, you're casting a vote for freedom, period. Till next time, guys, I'm Sean Morley. This is Top Shelf Anarchy. Subscribe to my channel. Check out my videos, guys. I got some great content on there, and I'll probably be back on here the next day or two with another live stream. We're going to do some more live streams here. And till next time, peace. I'm out.